On the injury front, I think we had 2 guys of note. From Michael Carter, got to see what the situation is with him. Who's the other guy that we had?
Braylon.
Yeah, we had Braylon. Right, see what his injury is. Hopefully, there are injuries where those guys can get back quick. But we will find that out. When it comes to the game today, very disappointing. Very disappointing. And there's no way you can win any game with 13 penalties and 3 turnovers. It just can't happen. But what we have to do is go back to work. We have to go back. That's the only way that we can fix them. Really take a look at these penalties, take a look at these turnovers, and make sure we understand that we have to understand before you can win games, you have to learn how not to lose games. And we have to do a better job in that case. And we will. We will. And again, the only way to do that is go back to work. And that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. Any questions?
Aaron, you spoke. You guys seem to be on a, even though it was a loss, you seem to come off of that Buccaneer game pretty high.
Yep.
You found a lot of things you fought to respond like this. I mean, how disappointing is it?
Very disappointing. Very. And to me, it was more or less the things that we know that you can't do to win games. We allowed that to happen. I thought our guys played with effort. Listen, I thought our guys understood the ramifications of this game. But, man, to go out there and have that many penalties and really pre-snap penalties and turn the ball over, I mean, that was so disappointing this game. But listen, I'm not losing hope in our guys at all, and I'm telling you now, we just got to go back to work. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
And how impactful was the Braylon Allen fumble after what would have been an outstanding drive there?
Every turnover was impactful. Obviously, that was one that's going to be magnified because it was right there, I think, at the 6th, something like that. Thought he was about to go in and score. But every turnover is impactful. I'm not about to just put it on that turnover. You cannot win this league when that happens. And I can continue saying that, over and over. But to have 3 of them and to have that many penalties is tough.
Why do the penalties, it sounds so silly, but why do the penalties keep happening when it's been a point of emphasis from you dating back to OTAs?
You know what? We got to figure that out. We got to figure it out. And that's the part I'm saying that's disappointing. Because, man, we go through certain times where we do a hell of a job, especially with the pre-snap penalties. And then, man, we just revert back. And listen, I know that you can't fix things in a couple of weeks and things like that, but we have to be better than that, and I know we can be better than that.
How do you think Justin played at his return tonight?
I need to look at the tape. I thought he did some really good things. I mean, obviously he was running around out there and made some plays with his feet, and I thought he, towards the end of that game, man, he was dealing the ball pretty well. But I really want to look at the tape and look at the decisions and things like that to see exactly how he operated. But to me, just from the naked eye, it looked pretty good.
What was your message to Isaiah Williams? I mean, he had the fumble and the fair catch at the 2.
Just understand exactly where he's at. And listen, you're right there at the 10. You came back up. And when you start to back up, you know that the ball is going to be at that 10-yard rule we use in that situation. So those situations, we just got to be smarter. We have to be smarter. We can't allow that to put us in a situation where we got our offense backed up because now it's a field position game. And we can't allow that to happen to us.
Obviously, teams are going to devote more coverage to Garrett because of who he is. What really was a non-factor for about 3.5 quarters. Aren't there ways to get him the ball, to scheme him, ways to try to get him more touches?
Well, if you take a look at how the game was going, we were running the ball really, really well. So the thing is, we don't want to force the ball in those situations. We felt like we had an advantage when we was running the ball, and I think you guys saw that early in the game. So why go away from what's working to try to force the ball to somebody? I think that's ridiculous to do.
There was a 4th and 10 in the 4th quarter, Aaron, with about 7-ish minutes left where you guys chose to punt the ball.
Yeah.
Miami ended up getting back into field goal range, ate about 3.5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
Was there any consideration to going for it there, and if so, why didn't you?
You know what? I think it's tough in that situation when you look at how the game is going, the way we went offensively. I mean, we had some tough outings in those long distances. So, man, I want to give ourselves the best chance to go out there and win. Obviously, defensively, we wasn't doing as good for stopping them. So, I felt like that was the best option at that time. That was it.
Aaron, you've got some guys in that locker room who've been through some losing seasons with the Jets. How do you avoid woe is me, here we go again type of malaise coming over this team?
Well, listen, this is a game where, man, you're being evaluated on a daily basis. And I think those guys know that this is a totally different deal as far as being woe is me. And listen, you can always put yourself in position to win a game. And I thought we almost did it again today. All right. And I think there's hope in that, for the most part. We're just not doing the things that we have to do to finish games. I don't think we have those type of guys. I really don't. And I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make sure we don't have that. And I don't think we will. I really don't. So those guys know we got to go back to work. I know we have to go back to work. The coaches know we have to go back to work. And collectively as a group, man, we have to make sure we just block out all the outside noise and do the things we got to do to go win games.
A couple more.
You knew when you took this job that it wasn't going to be all smooth sailing.
Absolutely.
Is it more challenging than you thought?
I don't want to say that. I mean, listen, being a head coach of an NFL team is always challenging. I don't care if you're, if you're winning because they're always gunning for you, you're losing because you're trying to get things turned around. But yeah, I do know that. But I'll tell you that what makes it so so intriguing for me to be able to try to get us to understand exactly how we got to win games to get this thing turned. And listen, my confidence is not going to wane not one bit. We're not going to waver on the things that we've been talking about, how we got to win games. We just got to do a better job of doing those things. So yes, it was going to be tough. I understand that, and we're going to continue to work to get this thing turned.
Last one.
On Braylon, he was ruled out very quickly within the injury.
Yeah.
Was there any indication from the doctors that could be a serious injury?
You know what? At that point, man, the doctor said, listen, he's going to be out. And I didn't want to hear, and we can't know what the situation is at that point. And I have to make sure I keep myself focused on what's going on in the game. So it looked like it was pretty bad, but I don't want to say that until we get a chance to know. So, hopefully he'll be all right.
Thanks, everyone. The room's open.
Thanks,
you guys
Aaron.
can go through that door if you want.